There's a moment in life when anxiety becomes so intense, so overwhelming, so persistent that a person starts to believe something is deeply wrong with them. Their chest tightens, their breath becomes shallow, their thoughts race, their energy spikes for no reason, and their emotions feel too big to control. They look around and everyone seems fine, functioning, grounded, normal. Meanwhile, they feel like their entire inner world is vibrating. They feel hyperaware, overstimulated, sensitive to things they never noticed before. And the more they try to calm down, the more their anxiety rises, like a surge coming from somewhere deeper than the mind. At first, they think it's stress, burnout, fear, trauma, or maybe something physical. But then something strange happens. The anxiety doesn't behave like normal anxiety. It doesn't respond to logic. It doesn't go away with rest. It doesn't follow a pattern. Instead, it feels like something inside them is waking up. Something old, something real, something they have been ignoring for too long. Most people think anxiety is a malfunction, but sometimes anxiety is an awakening. Not the peaceful, graceful, Instagram-friendly kind of awakening, but the messy, uncomfortable, what is happening to me kind. The kind that forces a person to become aware of what they've been avoiding. The kind that shakes the inner walls that were never stable. The kind that exposes truths the mind wasn't ready to face before. The kind that begins not with clarity, but with chaos. Imagine someone who has lived their life on autopilot, doing what they were supposed to do, following expectations, ignoring their intuition, numbing feelings, and silencing their deeper knowing. For years, their inner self whispered softly, "Pay attention," but they were busy surviving. Then one day, the whisper becomes a roar, not to punish them, but to wake them. That roar often feels like anxiety. But beneath the chaos is something else, a shift, a breaking open, a spiritual signal that something in their life can no longer remain asleep. This is why some forms of anxiety arrive with strange characteristics. For example, a person might feel overwhelmed by places that never bothered them before. They might suddenly become sensitive to loud noises, harsh lighting, or certain people's energy. They might feel disconnected from old habits or uninterested in things they used to enjoy. They might have surges of intuition, moments of déjà vu, emotional releases that appear out of nowhere. They might feel like their inner world is expanding too quickly for their outer life to catch up. This isn't dysfunction. This is transformation. Let's imagine someone named Daniel. For years, Daniel lived a predictable life. He worked hard, kept his emotions controlled, didn't question much, and followed the path laid out for him. But recently, something changed. Every morning, he wakes up with a knot in his stomach. He feels restless, uncomfortable, unable to pretend anymore. It's not the anxiety that comes from fear of failure or stress at work. It's deeper. His life feels too small for who he's becoming. Something inside him is pushing for expansion, but the expansion feels terrifying. Daniel thinks he's falling apart, but he's actually shedding an old self. Or imagine Maya. Maya spent her life pleasing others, staying quiet, avoiding conflict, and keeping the peace. But out of nowhere, she starts feeling anxious in situations where she used to feel safe. When she sits with people whose energy drains her, her heart races. When someone crosses her boundaries, she feels a surge of panic. Maya thinks she's becoming too sensitive. But what's really happening is her intuition waking up, refusing to let her ignore misalignment anymore. Her anxiety isn't dysfunction, it's guidance. There is a kind of anxiety that isn't rooted in fear, but in truth. Truth about who you are. Truth about what you need. Truth about what you must leave behind. Truth about a life that has grown too tight around you. Spiritual awakening rarely begins with peace. It begins with the collapse of illusions. And the collapse feels like anxiety. People often ask, how do I know if my anxiety is a spiritual awakening? The answer is in the pattern. Normal anxiety shrinks your world. Awakening anxiety cracks it open. Normal anxiety makes you disconnect. Awakening anxiety pushes you inward. Normal anxiety makes you fear the future. Awakening anxiety makes you question the present. Normal anxiety focuses on the mind. Awakening anxiety comes from the soul. And there's something else. Awakening anxiety often appears when a person is emotionally, spiritually, or intellectually outgrowing their current environment. It is the soul tugging at the walls, trying to expand the space you live in. This is why people going through awakening often lose interest in old friendships, relationships, or habits. They feel like they don't fit into their old life anymore. And they don't. The anxiety is the friction between the self you've been and the self you're becoming. This transition is messy. It's uncomfortable. It's confusing. Many people try to push it away, suppress it, numb it. But the more they resist, the louder it becomes. Because awakening doesn't stop when you're uncomfortable. It stops when you're honest. Awakening anxiety shows up through symptoms that don't make sense at first. A sudden desire to be alone. A deep craving for quiet. Feeling overstimulated in crowded places. Feeling emotional for no reason. Random waves of sadness or release. A strong internal pull towards something you can't name yet. A sense that your old life doesn't fit your new awareness. Hyperintuition. Synchronicities. Gut feelings that feel louder than thoughts. And the most common one, the sense that something in your life needs to change, even if you don't know what or why. If someone has lived disconnected from themselves for a long time, reconnecting feels like anxiety. If they've ignored their intuition for years, hearing it again feels like anxiety. If they've betrayed their own needs for decades, honoring them feels like anxiety. Even receiving clarity can feel like panic when you're used to confusion. Awakening breaks open the protective layers around your identity. And the breaking open feels like trembling, hyperawareness, restlessness, emotional flooding. But beneath all of that, something is shifting. Something is aligning. Something is rising. People often assume the universe speaks through signs, silence, or soft intuition. But sometimes, the universe speaks through discomfort. Discomfort is information. Discomfort is truth trying to surface. Discomfort is your soul saying, "This life is too small for you now." So how can someone navigate awakening anxiety? How can they tell the difference between danger and transformation? This is where the framework begins, a simple way to work with awakening instead of resisting it. The first step is listening. Instead of asking, "How do I stop this feeling?" ask, "What is this feeling trying to show me?" Awakening anxiety always carries a message. The second step is grounding. Put your attention in your body, the hands, the feet, the breath. Awakening expands the upper centers of awareness, which can feel like floating. Grounding brings you back to the present moment, so the expansion becomes manageable. The third step is observing. Notice what triggers the anxiety. Is it certain environments? Certain people? Certain routines? Awakening exposes misalignment. Your reactions are clues. The fourth step is simplifying. Awakening becomes overwhelming when life is too full. Slow down. Reduce noise. Make space. The soul needs room to stretch. The fifth step is trusting. You don't have to understand everything immediately. Awakening unfolds in layers. The discomfort you feel today becomes clarity tomorrow. And the final step is releasing. Let go of what feels too tight. Old identities, outdated relationships, internalized expectations. Awakening is not about adding more to your life. It's about removing what no longer matches who you are. If you've been feeling anxiety that doesn't make sense, a heaviness that feels spiritual, or an inner pull you cannot explain, you might not be breaking down. You might be waking up. And no awakening begins gracefully. It begins with the shaking. If this spoke to you, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to know that their anxiety might be the beginning of their transformation.